they are hoping for love. Like they want connection to people. So many guys, even in their own gang, like when push comes to shove and they're the ones that go to jail, their gang isn't really putting money on their commissary, doing anything.
They never
for the
do.
Books.
They never do.
But you'd be surprised at how nice and how much hospitality a killer can treat you with.
Super loyal too.
Yeah, like I have some of these guys, like there's a couple guys in the Latin Kings where I know what they've done. There's even video footage of some of their actions. He calls me up and he's extremely nice. Hey, gang, how you doing? How's your family doing? How's your son doing?
Do you think that is the side of humanity that they have? Because we're talking about like the worst types of things now, right? Is that a side of humanity they have, or do you think that's a side of sociopathy they have that allows them to play that role?
I don't think people are one-dimensionally evil often. I think that's a rare character that you find. Most people, like even if you talk about profiling cartel stories, you think it's this guy always beheading people and doing crazy stuff, but then you go to his family house, he's cooking, like they're cooking in the family, they have a kid's birthday party, there's a piñata up in a tree, and there's a very normal family function happening, but when dad goes to work, he does unspeakable things.
Yeah.
So I know that there's also, I'm providing value to them, so of course they're going to go out of their way to be nice to me. Like I'm sure if I didn't have a YouTube platform, sure, I'd probably get a different experience, but even without YouTube, I think if you were to treat these guys kindly, even some of these shooters, they are hoping for love. Like they want connection to people. So many guys, even in their own gang, like when push comes to shove and they're the ones that go to jail, their gang isn't really putting money on their commissary, doing anything.
They never
for the
do.
Books.
They never do.
And you've seen this with some of your guys that you've hung out with Chicago. He was a certified threats all over Chicago for the last year. You built some really good relationships.
Yeah.
As soon as something happens, this gang disappears. And so if you're the guy that actually shows them love and maintains a relationship with them, they're very loyal to you.
Definitely.
So you don't. I think the thing in different ways that you and I run into doing what we do is like we get to know people really well, right? I have people come in here, sit with me for hours on end. You go to where people are and you're talking with them, seeing their life, whatever, seeing all the good sides of them as well. And I struggle with this a lot where you run into it where everyone can show you their best self or show you that they have the capability to be their best self. And as someone who like loves people, I want to always see the good side. And I want to be like, you know what, that guy's all right. But I also have to find a way to try to be objective to where like when someone really is often doing bad stuff. Like if you were still coming in here and doing all these scams all the time, you'd walk out of here and I'd have to be like, man, I really like Dev, but he's still a scumbag.
You just got to be able to read people. I feel like you've talked to enough people too. Like I feel like I'm really good at reading people too. I can know when they're putting on like a fake front. Like,
what do you think do you think that's from like having to be around so many different types of people?
Yeah, like
up?
just moving around everywhere and having so many different friends and seeing so many, and then hearing their stories, talking to them, hearing their friends' story. I feel like I've seen and like heard so much. Like I can just look at somebody, talk to them for like 5 minutes, and kind of know exactly how they are.
I think you're also striking me like watching you when you came in here today for a while before we're getting on camera. You're a listener. You're listening to what everyone else is saying. You're not one of these guys.
I got to peep the scene first.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the laws of power is to stay silent and to observe?
Probably, yeah. I can't remember. I read that book, but
I've read it too.
Yeah.
Hard read. It's too Machiavellian for me.
It's heavy.
It looks at every person as if they're trying to manipulate you, or like I talked to this billionaire guy and
Tadla?
yeah, and I saw his book on the between the podcast table. It was 48 Laws of Power. I'm like, not you. You can't like.
That's not a good book.
No.
It's not a good book.
It's not a roadmap of how to treat people or build relationships.
It's an evil book.
It's
a cautionary tale, similar to how Dev is. He's graciously out of the goodness of his heart providing advice to people to protect themselves.
Yeah.
That's a book you read and you're like, okay, this is how to protect people.
graciously out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what? I just realized it, Alessi. I'm never going to unsee this. Jalen Hurts.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Jalen-
You even carry yourself like the same way, like quiet, can't really tell the emotions, what's going on. Yeah. Like you do the same thing with your lips and everything. Like when you're done making a point, like I'm not telling you where I stand. I'm never gonna unsee that. Holy shit.
He's a basketball player, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
Get the
Football,
fuck out.
right?
Get
No,
the
he's
fuck
football.
out.
He's the quarterback for the
Eagles.
Okay.
The Super Bowl
I
champion.
I don't be watching too much sports either.
The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in this household. To you, Tommy G.
God bless Philadelphia.
Oh, you're an Eagles fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in South Jersey.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
I'm a
look like
Bears
you
fan.
grew up in South Jersey.
What? I didn't hear what you said.
I said South Jersey's a beautiful location.
It is a great location. New Jersey's a great location. Yeah, if we, like, when he talks,
I can see
though,
that.
when he talks, like he's so, no matter whether it's high or low, he's the same emotion every time. And he just kind of like does the littlest smirk at you at the end of everything.
Yeah, a little
he
bit,
says.
a little bit of a
And you're
twitch right here.
Yeah. I can't unsee that now. That's funny as shit. But Tommy, you're saying, so when you were going in to do the video with Dev, you thought he was a terrible guy. Dev thinks while you're doing it, you still probably think he's a terrible guy. But then you become friends. What turns you? Like, what made you be like, I like this guy?
You know what? That is a tough battle because, and similar, you talk to these spies that have done who knows what to people overseas, but you'll have them over here 7 times. You'll go out to eat with them. You'll hang out with them. It's one of those things where if I met a guy that was stealing my car, I don't want to just kill him or choke him out or, but because it's not happening to me, there's no personal animosity. And also, I think people just have, especially when it comes to making money, people have they're dialing on their way of making money, but outside of that, there's a different side of themselves that they show that is redeemable. Even the car thieves, okay, you go out every night. We were just with these guys at 1 a.m. in a hospital parking lot last night that had a Hellcat. Piece of shit, but I bet if I caught you at a burger restaurant, we were just having a meal around a table, I bet I would have a good time with you. And I've come to realize about most people. Most people, I think.
But that doesn't necessarily make them good.
No, these aren't guys that I would invite to my son's first birthday party.
What about me? I could come, right?
I'll have to get my representative at Chase to see if they approve the visit. But yeah, Dev could come to my house. I also know that my wallet's not going to be missing when Dev comes to my house.
You do know that.
I'm 99.9%.
Because I never met you before, so I can tell you everything was hidden this morning. I've never had to do that before. Well, Matt
Are
Cox.
you serious?
Yeah, Matt Cox, I did that when I was still in my parents' house and Matt was coming for the first time. I hid some of my dad's credit cards and stuff.
Damn.
You know Matt Cox?
No.
You
Is
never
he a
heard
scammer?
of Matt Cox? No. You and Matt Cox need to do a podcast together.
He's a scammer?
Yeah, can we pull up Matt Cox's Wikipedia?
I know Bernie Madoff.
Was he one of the most famous?
Matt Cox is my friend who, I swear to God, is reformed. That was his FBI most wanted poster. Let's go to the Wikipedia page.
Was
It's
he on
long.
meth?
Or he did that on
No,
purpose?
he looks like he was, but
They took his worst mugshot and posted that.
Yes,
Police do that, by the
he
way.
actually.
Are you serious? They told you that?
I took a mugshot photo one time that I thought was gonna be badass, and then I looked at it and it was.
Ah.
I never released
Wait,
it.
what'd you try to do with a mugshot? Like me mug?
I think maybe I smiled because I was like, I'm gonna put this on a T-shirt and this is gonna be so sick, and I'm gonna sell some merch. The photo was so bad. I'm like, yeah, that idea's on the back burner.
Yeah.
He later took that picture because he was on the run from the FBI for like 3 years. He later took that picture and as a fine arts major in college, he majored in fine arts. He likes to say that. He made a new laminated, what is it? Like the lanyard or whatever for the Salvation Army and invented some position called like a statistical surveyor or something. And he would go up to homeless guys and say, all right, what's your name, social security number? With that picture. And they would give it to him and then he would get their identities and be on the run. He was next level.
And what you guys share in some of the work you've done is really good social engineering skills.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Putting someone in a position where, like, if they're going to give you money, most people, if I just confront you directly, Julian, send me $500. No, you're not going to do it. But if I socially engineer a situation where you want to give me the money, like, hey, you think you're going to get something out of it, you think I'm legit. That's what a true scam artist is, or a con artist is they create an atmosphere that would something otherwise unbelievable becomes believable.
Yeah.
Would you concur with that?
Yeah.
Did you ever plot out how to do that, or was it just natural?
You'll just learn on the way. Like, you'll suck at first, and then you'll learn on the way.
You get better.
Yeah, you'll get
A
better.
little practice.
He's a finesser.
Yeah. Now, Matt is, so his story is that he never committed a crime until he was 30 years old. And he was a mortgage broker with a wife and young kid at 30. And his boss whited out a number on one of his mortgages. He was like behind on his bills. And she's like, sorry, this mortgage that he had just negotiated isn't going to pass. He was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. She's like, no problem. So she took out whiteout and just changed a number. Like a small little, it's like a small form of fraud, but like it was something so small that, maybe you get fired for that, but you wouldn't get arrested. And he saw that, he went, oh shit. So what started as just changing a number very quickly he got creative and went all the way down the rabbit hole, and pretty soon was stealing identities, creating fake real estate empires all down in Florida. Finally, like, gets caught and decides to go on the run. He's on the run for 3 years. This is all a 6-year period. He's on the run for 3 years, got plastic surgery, the whole bit.
Are you serious?
From the FBI, gets caught, gets sentenced to 26 years in prison, goes into prison, becomes one of the most prolific dry snitches in the history of prison. He's very open about it. And, like, you know, used any information he could to get the fuck out of there. He was at Coleman. And so, long story short, there was a lot of other crazy shit that happened, but he got his sentence down to 13 years, still did that whole thing. But while he was in prison, he's a brilliant guy. Like, Matt would have been great at anything he ever did. So he became an author because he was in prison at Coleman, which was like the Ivy League of fucking crime. Like, he had one of everything there. So these famous people were there, and he would write their books and, like, publish them even from behind bars. And one of the books he wrote was called Once a Gun Runner, about Ephraim DeVroley, which then Warner Brothers stole and made into the movie War Dogs.
Damn.
That was that book. And so Matt and Ephraim later sued each other, but also then at the same time were both suing Warner Brothers together for, like, misusing the whatever. But Ephraim was fucking crazy. Anyway, so Matt, the reason I bring this up is because he realized a couple things about himself they never knew. First of all, he was like 5'4", so he's got like short man's complex and everything. So he always had narcissistic tendencies, but he was diagnosed as like narcissistic megalomaniacal personality disorder. And he's very, that's what it's called, I guess. And he's very open about this and very self-aware of it. Like, to the point, like, I'm kind of proud of like how much he's like constantly keeping that in check, knowing what he could be capable of.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about, not necessarily narcissistic like megalomaniacal personality disorder, but have you ever thought about you maybe being predisposed to having narcissistic tendencies or things like that that could lead you to potentially hurt other people without you realizing you're doing it?
So, like, what's really a narcissist? Like, somebody who just only cares about themselves?
In the simplest terms, I would say that's probably fair.
Nah, because I really help a lot of people around me.
You do help. How do you help a lot of people around you?
Just like, I'll put them on to things, help them make money. If they're down on their last, help them out. Help people's moms out if they need help. Somebody goes to jail, help them with that. Yeah.
So
I will say one thing in his defense too. He was one of the biggest donors to a wrestling charity I had.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.